I am back in the groove in my own office and I feel a little better. Why is that? I got cameras at work, I got mics that work, I've got multiple screens. It feels good to be back home. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the August 11th edition of the Makers and Movers podcast, folks. Now, if this is your first time here, I know we're going to run into, quite a bit of that, of people of their first time here. And so let me give you a rundown of how all of this works. All right. So I usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Right now, we do Makers and Movers podcast, and this is more of like a jump start for my day. Like what do I need to do to get going? And when we started this, Travis helped us out with it, and we've been doing it for a couple of years now. So if you haven't been around, hey, thanks for finally joining us. But if you have been, it's setting the day up for success. So what do we ask from you on this? We usually come up with a topic, and we'll talk about some things, and we'll go over it, but the show really is nothing without you. All right. So we need to know who you are. We need to know where you're from. We need to know what the weather like in your area and what's in your cup. It is foggy AF out there today. Today was Hattie's first day of middle school. Yikes. They did a half day today. So, I do the fam jam up there to that. I almost done with another tropical vibe Celsius, but I do have some drinks being delivered. And so that's what we do. We chit chat, we go over some stuff, and what I try to do is come up with a topic that's especially relatable to myself and things that I'm going through right now. 100% imposter syndrome. And so, this one's going to be imposter syndrome. When your dreams feel too big, and we're going to, come up with 5 ways that makers can beat that. Because honestly, taking over the Rhinestone World has been super exciting. It's been very overwhelming and honestly super intimidating. The imposter voice in my head has really been loud. And if you've ever wondered if you're good enough to do the thing you're already doing, you know exactly what I mean. So in this episode, we're going to share, 5 practical maker-friendly strategies to kind of help push through that imposter syndrome. These are the same ones that I'm using right now in the middle of this TRW transition. These aren't fluffy motivational quotes. These are real tools. They're going to help you keep moving. Even when that confidence is shaky. So we're going to talk about how we can separate feelings from facts. The power of stacking those tiny wins that you can control, borrowing confidence from your community when yours runs low, staying grounded by focusing only on what you can control, and reframing who am I into who is this for, to shift the pressure off of yourself. This doesn't matter if you're an at-home apparel decorator, a side hustler building your first store, or a shop owner taking a big leap. You are not alone. We're in this together, folks, and you are ready for way more than what you think. So, hey, as we get started in this, make sure to comment below. What's one fact you're choosing to believe about yourself today? Let's start with that. Now, down in the description, you should find links over to our DTF transfers over at Fat Dad Print Co. You should find a link to our August book club read, which is The Courage to Be Disliked. I can't wait to talk to our mentorship community to see what they think of that one so far. There's also TRW. We are running some amazing wizard webinar bundle deals. So go check those out. And then we have our mentorship community, which that price is going up. We are moving platforms and it's going to go way up because that is going to take way lots of time. So the sooner you get in, the cheaper you get it for. And then we've got our JP Plus link where you can save 10% on that. So what we'll do is we'll try and check in with as many people as we can through here because we're going to rock and roll through this and we will get into it because we've got content to create. Usually we try to keep these to half hour, but I have a feeling that these are going to go long just because, the way more amount of people that we have in it. Renee, welcome back. Morning. 75 on the way to 93 in Human Chicagoland. Water and bottle, coffee in the cup. Working on my top 5. Man, it is wild weather. It was hotter here than it was down in Florida. That's what's crazy with it. I will definitely, yeah, I don't know because I think we're headed back down there. Jerry, good morning. Good morning to you, Jerry. Or good morning, North Central Minnesota, 61 and cloudy. Dandelion tea. So what? Like from the yard? 5 days 3D printing, sewing alterations, prep laser test, embroidered shirts, and quite a content patch tool. I'm out of it. Rena, Up bright and early out there on the West Coast. Thank you for joining us this morning. I don't know, Cindy. It is foggy AF out there. Cindy is local to me. It was wild. And I'm not ready for Wilson traffic. Oh, I'm not ready for Wilson traffic. That is not ready for that. Connie, good morning. Coffee in the Cup 74 in cloudy in the burbs. Embroidery, pressing shirts, website work, invoicing, and sewing quilts. Jeff checking in from 76, already there in Northern Kentucky. Nothing to cut. 5 things. 3D print, 3D model, 3D print, UV print. Sort some files for laser, then UV print. There, we're rocking and rolling with it though. It's the bip, bop, boop, bop, 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 bop. Randy, are you in our area too? From the Quad City area? Where are you at? Where are you at, Randy? We are looking at places today. Oh, this move is super stressful because we're taking on way more than what we thought, and we're going back down to Florida. We're trying to make sure that we can pull it all off, but we're going back down to Florida to get more stuff. So we've got more of a move to go. But we quickly ran out of space where we thought, so that's what we're spending today, dude. We've got all afternoon that we're doing that because our top five. We've got mock-ups that need to get done. We've got meetings up the galore for stuff. And then we got mock-ups, meetings, press shirts, check team stores, cut age TV. So I'm gonna work here this morning on it, and then we'll pick up after we pick up Patty at noon. The rest of the afternoon is with realtors and meetings and all of that fun stuff, which it just makes it more and more stressful. And Michelle from Troy, Illinois, kind of overcast here. It's foggy, really foggy here. Yesterday, I printed DTF for 5 hours. Ooh, today I'm pressing them. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't, going over to the commercial machine, like we were beta testing that X-Tool DTF printer, and when they claimed 50 feet an hour, I know it couldn't do it. And when it can only do 20, I'm like, not when on our commercial machines where we can bang out, hundreds of feet. Like, there's no way. I'm not messing with that anymore. Have fun with it. Great advice. Thanks, Brian. Look at Brian. Brian's got a great last weekend. He learned all kinds of stuff, and now he's probably gonna tell it to me, and then we'll go from there. Welcome back to your office. I feel good to be back in my office. It feels comfortable, and I feel a lot more at ease about things to it. You want to go to Barb's house in Minnesota because it's nice up there? Yeah. If you're headed back to Florida, I'm just gonna offer to fly out and see you and Corey. Oh, and to help load anything left. Oh, there's a lot left that we can take. And I'm trying to debate which way to do it, and even if I need to go down there for it. So we're just kind of playing it because Corey would stay here, and I would just go in there for it, and then we would be good to go. Yay to more QC representing. I saw a place. Oh, Cindy, we're at. Cindy, we're at 2,000 square feet or more. Where are you looking at it? George, I'm looking at a place around the corner from you today, homie. Maybe we'll stop in and say hi. Um, Now I have the Uninet printer upgrading in January to a faster printer. Michelle, check with our friends over at American Print and Supply. They are not all American. American. They're down here in Peoria, so they're not too far from you. I'm not sure where Troy is, but they're down in East Peoria. Fantastic people to work with. We've worked with them the last 5 years. We've developed an amazing partnership with them. We're actually part of the print network, and I'm telling you, the service after the sale, second to none. Second to none. Ooh, Kim delivering my first Rhinestone shirt that I designed. Super excited. That is super exciting. Alex, welcome back. Did you throw up this morning? No, not yet this morning. I think it's because I'm in my own comfort zone, being at home. Coffee, 65. It's some good news and some bad news over the weekend. So reevaluating my life today. See how it goes. Imposter syndrome to the max. I am all over that. I am all over that. Yes, dealing with Keith. Keith is amazing. Well, what do we have? I have to look and see on the back of the shirt that we did for Keith. Because whatever it was, I have to go back and look at pictures. Yeah, Keith won't sell you stuff that you don't need. You may want stuff, but he usually goes through and be like, okay, just because you want it doesn't mean that you need it. And so that's what I really love about them down there. They're just not selling to make a sale because they know after the fact the DTF printing is a pain. And so you need to be there for it and rock and roll and there's so much after the sale stuff. So it is a great to be able to there. Bet the kids were happy to see they were more happy to see mom. That's how it usually goes. We just knew we had a lot going on with school starting back today and getting into that. The school starts Hattie today, half day. Then we have unpack your backpack night for them tomorrow night. Wednesday we have baseball. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, we're going to do Tuesday. We are going to do Tuesday with Todd. We're going to talk about using we're going to use the design wizard to build gang sheets. Somebody asked me about how to do that, and I'm like, it's pretty simple. There's a couple clicks in there on how to set things up. So I'm going to walk you through how doing that tomorrow night. That will be at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 in the East, 7 in the mountains, 6 on the West Coast. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow night. And we're gonna show off a little designs that I've been working on. So, those should be dropping soon. I'm still soon totally clean with the sale. So I am totally using that for as long as I can. So we're going to we got where was I going with that? So we got okay, so then today we've got half day of school meeting with realtors. Tomorrow we've got unpack your backpack night, and I think we're meeting with realtors there. Wednesday, baseball. Tuesday is also Tuesday with Todd. Thursday, pressing on site at the school and a backpack night, and then Friday, first day of school night. So we got a busy week for you. And like I said, we're still in the mix of it, guys. We're still just like you, where we're pumping out stores, pumping out orders, doing all that, and trying to navigate all this. And that's where I think I'm dealing with a lot of this imposter syndrome stuff from. Because it's if if you've ever looked at your own work and thought, who am I to be doing this? You were not alone, because I am living that in real time right now. Taking over TRW has been, like I said, one of the most exciting and intimidating things that we've ever done. Last week we shipped out, some of those final orders. We paused shipping for that move, and we packed everything up that we could, and we sent it on its way. And now we're hunting for that right new space. While all it's happening, there's that little voice in my head that keeps saying, "You're not ready. You're not good enough. You're gonna mess this up. It's gonna fail." To be honest, there's some days that voice gets really, really loud. And so, if you're wondering what imposter syndrome is, it's when you feel like you're not as good as people think you are. Even if you have proof that you're actually doing great. It's like getting an A on a test, but thinking, I probably just got lucky. If people really knew me, they'd see I didn't deserve this. And people with imposter syndrome, often doubt their own skills or talents. They think that success is just luck or timing, not their ability, and they worry that somebody will find out that they're not as capable as they seem. And the kicker of this is, it's not about what's true, it's about what you believe. Even high achieving students and athletes and professionals can feel this way. It's basically your brain playing tricks on you and making you believe that you're a fraud when you're not. Now, imposter syndrome doesn't mean that that you're unqualified. It means that you're just standing in the middle of something new and bigger than before. And that is where growth really happens. So today we're gonna, talk about 5 ways to push through the imposter syndrome. These are just not tips that I've read in the book, but these are things that I'm leaning on myself right now through all this process. So, number one, we have to separate those feelings from facts. Maybe even name that voice, because one of the hardest parts of imposter syndrome is that it feels true. That little voice saying you're not ready. You know, it can feel like fact. That's until you check it, put it in its place. So step one is to name that voice, so you can treat it like a separate character, not your identity. When you say, "Oh, that's just nervous Nancy," or "There's Doom Todd again," it gives you space to challenge it. So then, once you name it, let's put those facts on paper, okay? For us right now, the facts are: we purchased TRW. We successfully paused shipping in an organized way. The inventory is in transit, and we're actively looking for the right place. Those are actual truths. Doesn't mean that it's easy. Doesn't mean that I don't feel nervous or scared, but they do mean that we're doing work. You know, so the more you practice this, the faster you'll spot the difference between a passing feeling and an actual problem. And when you make decisions based on facts instead of fear, you move forward with a lot more stability. So, with TRW, I felt like I'm not ready for this. But the facts are, we've run a business before. Customers know that we've paused, that we've paused temporarily, and they know that we're taking steps every day to reopening. Right? For some others, like a small home-based decorator, they felt too small for a school order. The PTO reached out to them first because they like their work. So an action step for this is make a feelings versus facts list today, and end it with, even if I feel blank, the facts say blank. Okay, so I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put that down here in the comments, and that way you will have that, and you will have that good to go with it. Okay, so we'll put that in there, and as we go forward with stuff, we'll usually run through a couple of these, and I'll come back and check the stuff, the comments, and we'll go back and forth, and that's how we do it. Because typically we're just about wrapping it up right now, but I know we're going to go a little while. And oh, I'm going to pause this, Alex. Little confused. You didn't buy Rent a Warehouse before you did it? Nope. Because up until about 3 weeks ago, we didn't know that we were purchasing all of it. We were only doing software side of it, and somebody else was going to take physical side of it, and that deal fell through, and so then it fell in our lap, and that's where the big rush came from. Is that we weren't sure what we were getting and what we were going to need and how we were going to do this, because we had no clue really until we got down there and we started seeing the list, because we honestly didn't 100% know until probably the week of the deal going through what we were gonna end up with, and that's why only certain things were coming, because it was just gonna be rhinestones and Caesar stuff, and now it might be more things with that, because that's what we're trying to find the space for. A lot happened last minute on things, and that's where it just really, really got wild from. Right. So number 2, build proof stack, and those tiny wins, right? Because when you're doubting yourself, you want one big win to make it all go away, right? But let's be honest, those big wins take time. Tiny wins stacked every day after day after day, they just work faster. These are the things that you can control that show that you're still moving forward, even in a really messy season. So right now we're not shipping, right? So our wins don't look like boxes going out the door. They look like answering customers' questions quickly. Showing up for the TRW crew online. Making decisions that will help us hit the ground running when we reopen. They're not glamorous by any means, but they count. Okay. And for makers, tiny wins might be just photographing a product that you've been meaning to list, tweaking a store banner, or reaching out to a repeat customer. Small, repeatable actions remind you that you are still building something real. So for us, wins this week are going to include, making sure that we've set the clear expectations on the shipping pause, engaging with our community, and making progress on our space options. For a maker, you know, uh, you might be committed to, one rep a day, a mock-up, a follow-up, a product photo. You know, 2 weeks later, hey, you might go ahead and book your biggest spiritware order ever, because you're constantly stacking those small, tiny wins with it. So for this, let's just start like a 14-day proof stack, right? Do one meaningful action per day. Write it down and review it at the end and see your progress in plain black and white. All right. Number 3, this one I've used so much lately. Borrow confidence from the community, because I will tell you, some days my confidence is empty, and that's when I borrow it from the people around me. We've had TRW customers and the crew send us messages saying they're excited for what's ahead and that they believe in us. And on days when that imposter voice is so loud that I can't hear anything else, I go back to those words. And those words matter more than I can explain. Borrowing confidence isn't about fishing for compliments. It's about letting people know, you know, letting people, it's about letting people who clearly see you remind you who you are when we forget it. Okay. Now, for makers, that might mean asking for feedback, sharing a work in progress, or just letting your audience know that you're in a transition. But when you show up honestly, people rally. And that's what we've been doing. We've been telling everybody the complete process of this. Stuff is in transit right now. Do you know how scary that is? that we have no control over that. Hopefully it gets here. We're crossing our fingers. You know, this borrowed belief, it isn't a crutch, it's a bridge. And you lean on it until your own belief catches up. Now, for us, some examples is, just those encouraging messages that we're receiving from the TRW crew have really reminded us that we're not doing this alone, and that people really do want us to succeed, right? So, a shirt maker may have, posted a photo of their messy work table before a market. And the comment section, exploded with been there, done that, and stories of how they were and how they came out. And hey, three cents out of it. Those things help. They seem super relatable, you know. So for an action step for this, hey, let's message three people and ask, what's one thing you think I do well? Save those answers somewhere where you can revisit it on those hard days. All right. Number four, let's focus on what we can control right now. Because right now, a lot about TRW is in flux, right? The inventory is in transit. We don't have a space finalized. Shipping is paused. And that is the perfect breeding ground for imposter syndrome because it loves to whisper about everything that you can't control. The fastest way I know to quiet that voice is to shift that focus to what's in my lane, right? I can answer questions. I can post updates. I can brainstorm on new wizard tutorials. I can stay clear and present with the TRW crew so that they know we're here and we're committed to them. Those things matter, and they are mine to own. For makers, this just might be updating your online listings, creating social media posts, prepping designs for the next season, or organizing your workspace. The point isn't to solve every single little problem. It's to prove to yourself that you're still moving forward. And some examples is, you know, for us, we've been leaning into that customer communication. We've been staying visible online and we've been keeping people informed. So there's no question at all that TRW is still here. Now, I know somebody that was going through the same thing and they used a 2-week supply to delay photographing products. Wait, no, they didn't. They they had a delay of things that were coming in, and so during that delay, what they did was that they were photographing products, they were batching captions, and they planned to launch a calendar. So it was going to make that restart smoother. They knew there was a delay on stuff coming in. This is what they were doing, and they were setting it up all during that time for it. So action step for this is let's make two columns, right? The can control column and the can't control column and commit your time and energy this week to the first column only. What can you control? Okay. And number five, you know, reframe that who am I into who is this for? When I'm deep in this imposter thoughts, it's because I'm focused on me, my gaps, my fears, my unknowns. I got a drink being delivered. That's gonna make me that's gonna make me smile. What is it? Do you know what it is? He doesn't even know what it is. He just dropped it off. Um, you know, it's because I'm not focused on me, my gaps, my fears, my unknowns. TRW isn't about me. It's about all the makers that we serve and the time and frustration we save them. That's why we've been talking about the Design Wizard subscription. Yeah, it's going to be $20 a month and with $29 in digital credits. But the real value is in time. The Wizard speeds up the process so makers can take on more jobs without adding more hours. Time saved is money earned, and that's a customer win. You know, when you make that mental switch from am I good enough to how can I make this easier for them, that pressure shifts, right? You're no longer auditioning, you're serving. So for us, we are framing that the wizard is a time saver. It's letting makers get designs done faster so they can earn more money without burning out. Now, for a maker, you know, a spirit wear seller change their pitch from, buy my shirts to we handle the whole process for your team. Sales grew because they offered to remove that headache. And that's what we are. We're solution providers. So, action step for this is we need a who why statement. Okay. I help blank do blank so they can blank without blank. Okay. I will copy that and put that also down in here. The who why statement. And this way you can just practice it over and over and over again. And you can have it in there. Oh, where did that go? Where are you guys at? There you guys are. There you guys are. You guys are hiding behind there. There it is. So we can put that right there for it. So as we recap this and close it out, you're not an imposter, right? You are a builder in a bigger arena. Today we talked about some stuff, separating those feelings from facts, stacking those small wins, borrowing confidence from the community, focusing on what we can control, and then reframing around who we serve. I'm telling you this, I am living this right alongside all of you. T hard T blah, 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 blah. TRW has stretched us in ways that I didn't expect. And that imposter voice still there, but we keep moving anyway. So, you know, I want to know, what are you doing to do that? You know, what's one fact that you're choosing to believe in yourself today? Let's make those first proof stack wins. Let's do this, fam. I know we can do it, crew. I'm cheering for you. You're cheering for me. We're here to support you. And that's what we got today for Makers and Movers podcast. I'll go back, read through some comments. You guys let me know how you're feeling, what you're thinking on some stuff. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure to go like and subscribe and turn on your notifications there for it. Also, we need so we'll do this there. Next one, we're going to talk on Wednesday how we can use ChatGPT 5 that was just released last week, how we can use it in our apparel decoration business. So we're going to talk about 5 ways that we can do that. And then Friday, we're talking to you about your self-worth value. So we're going to talk about that on there. Then tomorrow night, Tuesday with Todd, we're going to show you, using the wizard. We're going to show off a few new designs that we're working on, and we're going to show you how to build up some gang sheets on that. So that's what we got through there. I'm going to go back in through here. I know there's a lot of comments in there that I may have missed, and so I'm gonna burn through them and see what we got and where we are with it. Jerry said she was number one. Oh yeah, that's right. We got like that top commenter thing. Get it, Jerry. Get it. Get it. Get it. We don't know because Hudson doesn't start until Friday. I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll be there with it. Brandy, hi Brandy from the QCA. Good morning, Karen. Oh yeah, we got through there. We got that one was there. Let's see. So maybe we scrolled up a little too far with that, and then we can get down to it. Yeah, because I remember seeing that one. Yeah, there is because at the time, like I said, we were only going to take HTV. We were only going to take Caesar and rhinestones. That's what we're going to focus on because a lot of the stuff, there's just the margins weren't 100% with it. There's stuff that we're not, and anything that we bring up, we don't even know if we'll carry because I don't know about that. That's wild because the cost to bring it in is now, in some instances, 4 times as much as what it was the first time, and we can actually buy it for the same you can buy it for the same price we can online. So, there's some stuff that's not gonna be there for it. And so we just don't know, we're going through it. We're gonna see what we can do and how we can each go through each one of those things for it. Uh, Jocelyn, right? Happy Monday and welcome home. But the kids, yeah, they're more happy to see. They're more happy to see that. Corey, that's what I said. Yeah. And so it's me and Corey. That's it. That was a Fat Dad team. It's me and Corey. And that's that. It's me and Corey. That's what we got here. And we ran a 2-person shop. We were able to run it from the home. That's why I said we're at home apparel decorator. So we've done the big stuff in the back before, and this was our comfort zone with it. It paid our bills, it took care of the family, it allowed us to travel, it allowed us to do all the things we want, allowed us to buy TRW. And so now we're going to be right there with it. Yeah, Alex, half day of school. It's August. Yep, because they're just starting there. Need to be cloned. Right? Like, I say that all the time. Brian said, I sat between 2 industry leaders with over 50 years experience each on Saturday. Imposter syndrome can freeze you. 100%, Brian. 100%. Janessa, imposter syndrome sucks, but I feel like it usually means you're actually heading in the right direction. Feeling uncomfortable, scared. Yep, is sometimes where the magic happens. 100%, 100%, 100%. 3,000 square feet near home. That would be nice. If I could get to a place on a golf cart, I would really be happy and excited about that. Yep. If you were led to purchase TRW, you'll find the right location for it. Trust nudges, and you get and nudges you get from above. They won't see you wrong. We're gonna see what we can get with it. That's all we can do. Uh, yeah, that was the universe saying it's time now, homie. I know, I know. Ooh. Sydney made some pistachio cold brew latte. She's polishing pendants, fixing a stoning pencil themed tumbler, cutting room for bows, carve wax, get molds ready to get some silver pulled. Fire, baby, fire, fire. One thing about wanting to buy a warehouse is you can find something that fits your needs versus guessing what space it works. Yeah, and that's the thing is just finding the stuff that's close. I can find stuff like half hour away, which in a lot of places in the country is fine, but we got this thing called winter here in the Midwest, and there's times where we could get dumped on 6 to 12 inches of snow and we wouldn't be able to get to there. So trying to find something close is kind of the big thing that we're doing here. Alex says, wow, now that explains a lot. I was up to you guys. Yeah, like it was just a couple weeks ago that we found out that we were taking it all over. And so just the logistics of it, of getting down there, getting everything taken care of, getting everything wrapped up, getting the stuff back up here, doing all of that. There was a lot in that. And that was, a big part of it. And then where's it going to go to get here? So what were we doing with it? We've got currently we have 4 indoor climate controlled storage units lined up ready to go because we said if anything, we can put the stuff in there. We can work out of that until we find the perfect spot. We just don't want to do that forever. So we're trying to see what we can find before then for it. And we do. We have a great community here supporting each other. I love it. I love it. Honesty is hard when you're sitting, it is 100%. Ryan said 1% better each day is 365% after a year. Trying to be 1% better means if you fail, it's a small failure. Love that, Brian. I love that. I need to take the advice of the great philosopher Stuart Smalley. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. I need that. I need that. I need that. I should make that. I should make that a shirt. Claire says, I find you to be extremely authentic. That makes people feel safe. I try to be. And the reason being is because it's the internet. People can call you out on your bullshit all the time. Like, everything is there. Anybody can say what they're doing, especially in this day of anonymously posting and starting this. When somebody said, I heard a rumor that TRW was going to go to a subscription race. There was no rumor. I was the one who said it. Why wouldn't you do that? Because you're trying to fire people up and get it started. Will Wizard 5 continue to work? Yes. You don't need to go to 6. Okay, Wizard 5 will work. You just won't be supported anymore on the customer service side of things if you have issues with it. Why? Because as we grow and we bring new people on, we can't have them working on old technology. They have to work on new stuff. And offset it, you're getting digital design credits. So whether that's fonts, whether that's webinars, whether that's designs, that's what you'll be able to use it for. So it's free. And at the end of the day, if the wizard doesn't save you $30 a month in time, then I don't know what to tell you. I will be 100% authentic with that. It saves me at least $30 a day in time. So and I look at that, a time versus energy thing, time versus money thing. I'd rather pay to have something done that I can do, just like outsourcing things. I can convert a lot of stuff, but is it worth my time to do when I can send it to somebody else for it? So we are there. Yes, my drink fairy was good. I don't know what it is though. I don't know what it is. Oh, I said we should also mention that some brand new to the Blizzard will not be able to come in and get the software for 29. That is 100% true. They have the upfront cost of the software just like everybody else. 100% true. Kind of says, I love it and have had it since day one. I'm excited for the next version. Me too. I'm really excited for it as well. Uh, I didn't think it was a bad one, especially when you're getting the design score. I will tell you that in the last 2 years, it's lost $250,000. So we have 2 options. Subscription service goes away. That's the dead honest truth with it. It can't lose $250,000. It just can't. I can't afford for that to happen. So that's one of the issues is, it was because you're spending time. There's people still on Wizard 1 and 2 that are needing help to do stuff and it crashes and they'll spend hours with people trying to get it back up. They made a one-time purchase 10 years ago. That's kind of the big point, of all of this is to get it back on there with it. Let's see. I had a light bulb moment this past week about my products. I went into a Harley Davidson store, checked out their bling shirts, and the quality was up to par, and we're selling for $60 each. Right? Like, think about it. How many times have we walked in the store and we've seen that Nike shirt or that Adidas shirt or the Under Armour shirt where the logo's all cockeyed and it's just a little one right here or one right here, and it's $75 for that shirt. Yeah, they're paying for the brand. So where can somebody go get a custom shirt for that? Like, charge your worth. And that's what we're gonna talk about on Friday. That's what we're gonna talk about on Friday. Um, and like, so I learned that I'm doing a great job with my quality and didn't change my prices. If anything, take your prices up, baby. Take those prices up. Thank you, Bree. I think it is exciting, and I'm looking forward to continuously putting on our content for it. I love what we do. I don't wait really, but any ideas on pre-made crystal transfers so I can stop dealing with Chinese? Yes. So earliest that's going to happen is October. So games machines are coming here. It is going to be on a limited basis. Why? Because we don't want to get anything crazy. Like, we don't want to say yep and just start taking in all the orders because we don't know the volume that it's going to be, or it's going to be on a case by case situation. Can two games machines take care of it all, or will more need to come along? So that's why. So it will go on there, but yes, that is the plan with it. Um, yes, that call will be starting in 22 minutes, Barb. We will get over there for it. We have the old school, what the hell is ours even called? It's Big Red, and now Gladiator. And dude, I want the Kraken so bad, but I don't have the space for it. I want that Kraken so bad because you can do 600 square feet an hour. You need a lot of room for that, but it is pretty legit. I'm gonna get down to there. I don't know if I'll get down there this week. In the next couple of weeks, we're gonna get down there because we're gonna tie into their system. The goal is with their print network. That is, if you order today before noon, it prints and ships, and then you have it the next day with their print network. That means all the people are on the same printers with the same inks and the same films and the same profile. So it doesn't matter what you get, everything comes in the same, and you're good to go with it. Uh, Thank you for this. You relieved a little of my stress. Alex, I'll do my best because we are all going through a lot. Ooh, the Tomahawk, you'll love it. We're gonna get the Son of the Gladiator, but really wanted the 24. Put a down payment. That was scary. Yeah, it is. That Tomahawk, nice one. Renee, there's a piece of property that's like $750,000. That's right on the other side of the stuff over here. And we're like, how can we make that work? Because it's like 52 acres. It's got a pond lake thing on it. Up front, we could build contractor units. We could put a barn on back. Believe me, long-term goals. We've thought big and looking at that. We just need to get there. Oh, I've done it before, but I am not doing it again. It's cold. It's cold when you're going through that. Yes, those will stay the same. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Yes, those will stay there for it. Essentially, yes, because you're going to get the use it or lose it credits for that month. So, and we're going to continuously be updating new designs, new live templates, webinars, fonts, all of that stuff, and you'll be able to use it for that. Just like we have to update our designs, you need to update. Yeah, we need to, so we can do there. Can you post all the social media sites? I think we can get all of them together because we're going to use TRW exclusively. I got asked what happens to Fat Dad. I get to get skinny now. Actually, we're gonna fold Fat Dad into TRW. So all of our print services, signs, banners, decals, DTF transfers, temporary tattoos, magnets. Did I say flags? Yeah, because I got flags that we're rocking today. All of that stuff we're gonna fold into the TRW family. So now you'll have access to all of that stuff as well. So we can be your one-stop outsource shop for things. And whether it's you need full jobs done, we have a network in place for that. Where, hey, I don't have the bandwidth to be able to do this job. We can get you in connection with the people that can, so it'll be able to do it. It will be, Janessa. It will be. It will be. It will be. It will be. Cannot say that about other subscriptions. That the cost offsets, and that's what we wanted to do. It was just so that way we could put everything in there. So it was all in one spot. We want, it was what we needed to do to be able to basically pay for the people to help with it, to pay for the support on it. It's not making tons of money. It's losing, it's losing tons now, and that's what we need to prevent. So that way it can stick around. Because to me, it doesn't make sense to keep a product that is not profitable, right? We all run into these things in our business. Doesn't matter how much we love a product, if it isn't profitable, why are we doing it? We're trying to keep our customers happy, but if I call you guys up and say, "Hey, my loan payment's due. Can I have X amount of money?" What are you going to tell me to do? Kick rocks, kid. Well, that's where we fall into, is that we need to keep everything, being successful with that. And the other thing too is, as we get updates, because we're going to release it where it is, and we're still going to work on things. We don't have to wait for updates. We just push a new update, and then you're set and ready to go. So the other thing is, there will be discounted rates if you're a current Wizard 5 user. So there'll be a discounted rate if you sign up in a certain amount of time. As we get closer to this stuff, there's that. There will also be, if you pay yearly, you'll have that as well. There'll be a different rate for that. So we're trying to make it as cost effective as we can with people. And we know that when you look at what else is out there comparatively, you're paying way, way, way more, in some instances, thousands of dollars more just to sign up with it. So we're very confident in what we're doing with it. Yeah, fat dad at TRW. That's right. Makes sense. One less site to run. Yeah, and we're totally moving the site. This shift for shop e-commerce solution, no bueno. We got to move that over to Shopify, and that'll probably happen, by the first quarter of next year. So, when we going through our stuff of what we're doing, it's like, okay, let's get Wizard launched. That needs to be one. First up, it's getting everything here. If I can kind of give you guys a timeline of how things are going, okay? Uh, we're gonna stuff's in transit. So first batch is in transit. So we're finding a spot so we can put everything in, so that way we can get back online and get physical products as soon as possible. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is Wizard. Okay. And then number three is going to be some, and because Wizard, we're tentatively shooting for October 1st. I think we can pull it off just fine. Um, in that time, once stuff gets here, we're going to be running some sales on some things. I think we've got like 100 and some odd cameo fours. We're gonna blow them out cheap. I think the cheapest I saw on Amazon or eBay or anything was like 189. They're gonna be cheaper than that for sure, so we can, unload some inventory with it. Um, some other things that we're looking at doing is, I was thinking about doing a half off gift card. You know, buy $500 gift card for 250 bucks. I was thinking about, maybe doing 100 of those just to generate that revenue, and it'd be good until the end of 2026. So you'd have however long to use it. I'm like, here's some things that we can do on that, just to give that bump in the beginning, because it is not cheap to move things, folks. Like, I dead honest with you, put everything we have in this. Like, every penny I could scrape together, we're putting in this to do. So if I can generate some revenue to start bringing some stuff back in, here, I'm all ideas. So we're gonna blow through product, as we get through the inventory and stuff that comes in. I know there's stuff that doesn't sell. I know there's stuff that's been sitting in the warehouse for a while. We're gonna blow through a lot of stuff. There's gonna be products that we're gonna get rid of that they just don't make sense to carry, because everything that sits on your shelf is a dollar amount in dead inventory. So we're gonna go through a lot of stuff. As we're putting stuff away, we're gonna make sure we're filming all this stuff, like, so you can see what the stones actually look like. It's hard to see on, the screen. How does that actually look? So we're gonna do our best to film all that stuff for you, and you're gonna be part of the process. And so those are things that we are really wanting to do, because I am super excited about that. Um, let's see what else do we have in here? Because yeah, we can keep this going for it. Let's see. Can you tell us some of the features? No. No, it's a secret. It's a secret right now. There are some that we could go. Color palettes. People ask for those, to be able to add new color palettes for stones and HTV from, other carriers and things like that, to be able to add their own. Yes, you'll be able to add that to the wizard. There is going to be one of the biggest ones with stone count back. When you could click on something that told you the amount of stones for each other. That one, super big. That was a Pilar one. That Pilar's like, I want this feature back, and I want it now. So that is the Pilar feature is coming back for that. Some stuff to help with name and number drops. with production for like decals or backs of jerseys and things like that. So there's going to be, as we go through each one, we'll get it there. And it's you guys have ideas of things that you want to see with it as we're working with our developer, because that's the thing with every sale, don't think that we get all that cash, right? Like, we don't. The developer, everybody has to get paid along the way. So we really don't make as much as what people think you make off of it. So that's the other thing to consider is there's way more in the back scenes of stuff. We're just not sit back and snapping necks and cashing checks, baby. We are eating ramen and hoping people buy stuff. So yeah. And plus, that we've been working with our software developer and Matt over the past couple of years to create different features. Right now, we're working on the beta version. We'll finalize what will include. And the thing with that, we will be able to put things. We don't have to wait so long as things come about. We'll be able to put them there for. Look at this. We'll either get you guys a small list of some of the features, or maybe we can create some short videos showing off some of the neat things that Wiz 6 will offer and save you time and money. That's right. On the silhouette, yeah. I don't even know. No, they're not pros. They're just regular Cameo 4s. And that's why, boom, boom. Nevlin, great question here. So, yes, more on the affiliate side of things. I'm not sure how the credit part will work. And we're working through these two things, the affiliate side and the referral credit side is how can we make that work? So I can't say a specific date of yes, this will year, but I will tell you that that is on the agenda of something that we want to do. And we're just trying to figure out how to logistically make that happen. So, whether it's affiliates, referrals, something, there is something in the works for it. So you will not carry any of the newer machines in the future. I don't believe so, because let me tell you guys, you big boy purchases, like we're talking, like in one of the things that we had to purchase, and it's like $30,000. I'm used to like our $3,000 to $5,000 purchase, and those still make my butthole pucker when we're ordering for a set jerseys and things that come in. We're ordering for a league and that, and you're spending that out. That is zero to that. It makes you want to throw up. And I know it's product that's going to sell and that things, but that's just like minimum quantities for. And I just wasn't. I wasn't ready for that. I'm like, oh wow, let's let's hold off on that right now because we have no clue where any of this stuff is going. And so when I'm seeing some of this stuff where it's like, oh, here's your minimum and here's this the order, let's hold up with that so that way we can go with it. Now, I have talked with our friends over at Caesar, and I think we're going to do more with the Romeo and Juliet. Since we are going to be Caesar vendors, everything that they have, we have, and so we'll be able to do that. Because you really don't make a whole lot off equipment, no matter how much you buy. And so if we've got 150 cameos, I know what those cost, and I know you're just sitting on them. So maybe we don't need to buy as many. When we can work deals with Caesar and they can drop ship stuff for us, maybe we don't have to carry as much stuff because they can drop ship for us. As far as like seat sizes and things like that, there might be some minimums on each TV because as we go through and time is money, when somebody orders 1 foot of each TV, by the time somebody pulls that roll off, lays it out, cuts it, packages it up, we've lost money because the margins are thin on those things. Now, if it's a 5 foot roll, okay, now we've made a little money. So we're going to be evaluating all of those things, and some of it just might go away because it's just not cost effective to do. It's not cost effective to buy one roll, 1 foot of something. Yes, I know you need it, but by the time you factor in shipping and everything else with it, it's just not cost effective with it. So we'll cross all those bridges when we come to it. Jenna says, I'll meet you at the IKEA parking lot when the truck comes through and takes stuff off your hands. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Janessa, let's go ahead and do that. Offside flag. Right? Precious, hello from Illinois. I'm from Illinois too. Where you at in Illinois? Definitely a great way to get rid of inventory that is used. Yeah. And so that way we can do it. Name and number is worth it. I do them daily. Yeah. And that was one of the things that for us, we do it daily with it. So it's definitely there. If we were to make a list of all the things that Pilar has asked for the Wiz 6, we'd probably start to see that one of the reasons 6 took longer to release. But it's going to be great. It's going to be great, and we're going to have it, and I cannot wait for it. Yeah, it's a giant amount of money. Giant amount of money. When I'm talking like purchase order is costing more than my first house I bought, that's some big boy stuff. Scary, scary, scary. So yes, scary with it. We are too. We're glad that the TRW crew is still here. We're part of it, and I think that's one of the things that makes this is we started out of, a spare bedroom just like everybody else, right? We didn't wake up one day and say, we got a business. No, it was just we started little and grew and grew. First store, 400 square feet. Second store, 3,500 square feet. Third store, 8,000 square feet. COVID happened. Realized we didn't need a storefront. We were doing so much online. Let's move it back home. We tried to go out on our own again with a partner. Totally screwed us. And that was, a whole nother ball game of things to deal with. So, you know, back at home. Love it. Love being able to do it from here. Love being able to take my kids to school every day. Love being able to pick them up every day. Love being able to attend everything that they do. Storefronts are wild because you have store hours and people expect you to be there. Shocker, I know, right? They expect you to be there when you have those hours on the door. So some things might have to change a little. But, at the end of the day, it's family over funds, right? I can't buy back my family time. I can buy back time to spend time with my family though. And so making those memories of where they matter and what counts, that's what we're going to do. And, if some of the stuff has to, not be around for that to happen, that's what we want. And it's just like you put your family first. You get in this to make money to help your family to, to do the things you want to do. And then before too long, you can't do the things you want to do with your family because you're tied in the business and you hate it. Let's not do that. We want to fall in love with our business. We want to love what we do. Uh, I work with glitter also. Is there a way to add it? Just asking. We might work and here's the thing is we have worked with a ton of people over the years, from different companies, different corporations and that. And the amount of support that has come out from them to, to help us with stuff. I think we have a lot of great partnerships that can be in the works for stuff. Joseph over the Magic Touch, he's like, "What can we do? How can we work this stuff together for you? Let me know, bro. I'm here to help you." So is that even Corel Trainer? We're a competing software company. If you want to actually understand how Corel works and the ins and outs of it, you can't beat them. They have some of the best training in the industry for it. And we love Clay and David over there. Amazing guys. They said, what can they do to help out with it? Friends down at American Print and Supply, they're on board. Anything that they can do to help with it. Friends at Caesar, what can we do to help you out with it? We've got all these people that have reached out, and it's been amazing, and I love it, and I cannot wait to see where it goes from here for it. Let's see. I just did a little used to be on social media. Oh, I told Todd that I needed TRW Crystal, and he knows that. Yes, she does. TRW, bleed TRW blue. Romeo and Juliet, so you're telling me that I will be buying a new color. Got it. All right. Yeah, we can totally do that. We can totally do that. Wrestling, if you have your resale certificate, you can get set up accounts with Sanmar, SNS, Augusta. If you don't have the license, you can order from Jiffy Shirts. There we go for it. Oh, everybody jump on Pilar for this because I told Pilar, hey, you can do this. And she's like, I don't know, because in the Hall of Fame stuff and the All-Star stuff, I'm trying to get her to do more than that. Pilar has such a vast amount of knowledge when it comes to the wizard and how she does things in her way. Because let's face it, we all do the same thing. We make shirts, right? But we all do it in our own way. So I may show one way, Crystal may show a way, Pilar may show a way, Corey may show a way, and Corey's way is, hey, Todd, do this. So, there's always different ways to do it. And she did an amazing job on All-Star training last week. I think that should be your bread and butter, All-Star training. The more I can get her in front of the camera and feel comfortable with All-Star training, the sooner that Pilar can do one-on-one trainings because there. Oh, Edwardsville, where that's at. Because right across the way is why can I not think of that? Because we went down there. There's college right there. We would go down there for visit friends. I cannot think of what's the college right across the way, but I know exactly where you're talking from. Uh, Do you have an automatic roll machine like they do for fabric? Measuring cuts? Nope, it's a crank. So you put it on here and you crank it out and goes that way with it. You could get an automated one, but I'm not spending that money on it. I got the cranker ones that go down through it. So if I crank it into 5 foot and then we're good to go with it. Uh, I'm actually excited for the webinars. Will be more feasible training than I'd be doing. Pilar, get on it. Come on, Pilar, right? Don't let an imposter syndrome sink in. It's right. It's right. Yeah, more people to access and learn in that time frame. That's right. That's it. Yes, Southern Illinois. Yes, it is. Yes, 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 yes. I'm reading your comments on screen, right? So see, we can see them all through here for it. I think that's great for it. Okay, I've got a mentorship call that starts in 4 minutes, so I got to get out of here for this. Remember, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I know it's early, but if we go any more later, then it's the people on the East Coast are eating lunch and they're like, "What are you guys doing, losers? Just waking up." Right? It's one of my friends told me that on the West Coast, they said we have the worst because if we want to keep up with our people there, we got to get up 4 hours earlier than we thought. So if the day starts at 9 on the East Coast, we got to be up at 5 to be able to match their time zone, and then we got 4 hours after them. So completely understand West Coast stuff. But we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure, like, subscribe, share. Sharing's caring, and it's free. You know that. The other thing is free. All of our affiliate links, all of that stuff. Go check out the Crafting with Rhinestones and Vinyl Facebook group. There's some discount codes in there for Fat Dad. Go check that out. And with that, you guys have an amazing day. We'll be back Wednesday. And Wednesday, we're going to talk about how we can use ChatGPT 5 in our apparel decorating business. So until next time, peace, love, press on. We will see you then.